So hello and welcome back everybody to another video, and here we're looking at Hobbylink Japan. They have some previews of the new kits out for Gundam, so let's go ahead and go through them. So here we've got the close-ups for the 00 Sky. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit more for you guys. So there we go. We got the 00 Sky, which again we know is a mixture of the 00 and a couple of gimmicks from the Destiny Gundam, including the anti-ship sword here, the what looks like a giant beam cannon on the back. It's got its own little rifle that it comes with. Overall, I kind of like the colour scheme, but it's a little bit different from what's been shown off. The kit has a lot darker coloured parts all over it compared to the actual line art, so I'm not too sure about that. But the weird thing about all of this is that there's actually an alternate version here, the 00 Sky Higher Than Sky phase. Let's just show you that title there. This is going for, what, 1800 yen? The only difference that I can see, apart from the slightly lighter armor color scheme, which we can assume is some kind of Trans Am, is these huge, ridiculously huge effect parts for the wings on the side, which I did not expect. I expected the wing sections to be out like the Destiny Gundam, but not these huge circular parts. They just look totally weird. I think that's probably a reference to the 00 portion of the Gundam, but it's strange. Also, the lighter color of the plastic kind of reminds me of the Gundam that Shari uses in the anime, the Cerevi modified version with the Ptolemy arms. It's really weird, but on this one we can also see the giant long rifle unfolded there with the anti-ship sword in one hand. So that's the takeaway from this, is that we'll get two versions of that. Then we've got the Jigen Blastmaster, or Jigen Blastmaster, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This one I'm not too keen on the design of either. The upper portion is really cool, but then we have like these giant feet. I don't know, I just don't like these huge toe caps that we've got on this. And then we've got obviously the satellite guns from the XX, which look really cool. Those feet look even weird underneath, but you can see the toes and the back of them kind of fold up a little bit. Really strange. We've got some kind of like hip joint style gun mounts there. And we've also got the clear piece for the satellite cannon there, which actually looks like a sticker, which I don't like stickers, not too many anyway. But I do like the fact that the backpack looks really cool in terms of the cannons can just fold over really easy. Although they look like heavily modified satellite cannons, because it doesn't look like they actually... Oh no, wait, they do actually unfold a little bit like the XX, but not too much. Then we've got the other one. I love the way it just says related type A, name tentative. So this one is the new one that's going to be used by, I can't remember the girl's name that runs the Gunpla shop in Build Divers, and kind of reminds me of the old Federation style uniforms mixed with a little bit of, oh, what was it, Battleship Yamato, just slightly. I like the fact that even though these kits are normally terrible, I do like the fact, out of all of this, that she has what looks like a beam spray gun mixed with an actual spray gun for, or a spray gun that you use on model kits for a weapon. That looks really cool. The hairpiece on it looks okay, but guaranteed that face is going to have stickers all over it, and if it's anything like the previous Gundam girls that they've released, it's going to be absolutely terrible. So keep an eye on how bad that one is, because guaranteed that one is going to be going around on some of the more famous YouTubers' websites when they actually piece it together. Somebody will cover this thing. I mean, like, for instance, you can see how the waist joint works there. Basically, it's like a rocking pelvis bar that allows a little bit more range of motion. There's nothing really sort of making it awkward to move the legs around in this kit, but you can tell, like most of the other ones, that when you move the legs even slightly out of line, it's going to be terrible, and you're going to have all kind of gaps there. I do like the design, though. It looks kind of funny and unique. We'll have to see what that's like in the anime. And then we've got the 2 Impulse units. We've got the Impulse Gundam Lancer, which has this giant... Where is it? This giant fuel tank on the back. Or at least it looks like a fuel tank. Looks like a mixture between the Impulse and some of the Age 2 stuff. Although that torso, again, does remind me of Wing Zero, the Endless Waltz version. Just a little bit. Just in its design. They probably took the same design cues from each other. The head looks a little bit like the Astaroth as well. But then it's just got this giant lance-style trident thing for a weapon. That looks really cool, that. And then we got the other one, the Gundam Impulse Arc. These 2 will replace the current Age units that work with the Champ. So the Champ's going to get his Special Forces colours, and these 2 are going to get upgrades that are based on the Impulse Gundam. This one's got a huge beam cannon style thing going on. This, again, with that trident style motif that's at the top here. Of the way I can't really zoom in on these too much. But we've got a similar style head, but points more outwards. And it's basically, apart from that, the same unit. The beam rifle reminds me a lot of the Age 3's beam rifle. I can't remember what the name of it was. It's been ages since Age was out. But yeah, apart from that, that's the only real difference. Is just the fuel tanks and the weapon. And maybe a little bit on the head. So, apart from that, these are looking interesting. I can't wait to see what else comes out. Guaranteed, like other people have said, the Special Forces edition of the Champs double... what was it? The Magnum? The Gundam H2 Magnum. I was going to say 00 then for a second for no reason. The Gundam H2 Magnum, the Special Forces edition of it with the floating bits, which look like lances. I expect that to be a P Bandai just because of the different colour scheme and how much they pushed the H2 Magnum in the beginning of being this really cool suit. And then, of course, we've got the other stuff from the intro that's already been shown off and is already available. And that mainly is just expansion parts for stuff like the tilt rotor backpack. And then we've got the other released suits, which is the modified Cerevi and the modified Ultron Gundam that the other 2 characters use. You see, this is crazy now where you look at something and you get invested in it and you forget most of the characters' names. That should tell you how much I've kind of been asleep for Build Divers at the moment, but I do enjoy looking at these kits. And I just noticed there, speaking of that, there's like some Cerevi style bits on the waist there. You know, the Ptolemy style pods that were on it. It looks a little bit like that. That's interesting. Those might be like individual bits that come off and act independently as like orbit weapons or funnels or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, some more speculation from me. I'll see you guys next time.